This is a tale of love, honor, and destiny. From the echoes of ancient African mountains was a beautiful kingdom called Aladima, where the sun painted the sky with hues of orange crimson, and the rhythm of the drum echoed through lush coconut and palm trees. It was a land of untamed beauty and boundless spirit, ruled by a noble warrior king and queen who had an only child, a daughter of unparalleled grace and virtue, a virgin princess as it's customary. Princess Omalicha, with skin as smooth as ebony and eyes that shimmered like pools of moonlight, was the jewel of Aladima. Her laughter was like music to the ears, and her kindness touched the hearts of all who knew her, and her friends cherish and love her company. Yet, despite her radiant beauty and gentle spirit, Omalicha found herself caught in the midst of a rivalry that would test the very fabric of the kingdom. For you see, risen above all are two princes from neighboring kingdoms who had set their sights on winning Omalicha's hand in marriage. The first was Prince Buruzo, heir to the kingdom of Agama, with his towering stature and wealth beyond measure. Buruzo believed that Omalicha would be the perfect match for him, a queen to share in his riches and power. The second prince was Prince Jaja, heir to the kingdom of Uzazu. Though not as wealthy as Buruzo, Jaja possessed a strength and courage that stirred Omalicha's heart. He spoke of honor and duty, promising to protect her with his life and to cherish her for all eternity. Prince Jaja's name rang bell across the 7 kingdoms, for he has challenged other warriors across the kingdoms for the right to propose to the princess. He wrestled, staked his title and riches against any warrior who can defeat and stop him from proposing to the princess. Warrior after warrior stepped forward and swore to monogamy and eternal faithfulness should the princess accept their hand of marriage. Stories and songs were composed and sung in anticipation for who the princess will accept as husband. As news of Omalicha's potential suitors spread throughout the land, the kingdom of Aladima buzzed with excitement. The people marveled at the prospect of their beloved princess becoming a queen, and the air was thick with anticipation. But Omalicha, wise beyond her years, knew that true love could not be bought or bartered. She longed for a love that was pure and true, a love that would stand the test of time. For her father, the warrior, loyal, faithful king, has set a high exemplary standard indeed. As the princes and warriors vied for Omalicha's affections, a battle of who was the richest and strongest ensued between them. Prince Buruzo flaunted his vast fortune, showering Omalicha with gifts of gold and jewels. Prince Jaja, meanwhile, showcased his prowess in battle, proving his strength and valor. Yet, despite their efforts, Omalicha remained unmoved. She saw through their grand gestures and empty promises, searching instead for a love that resonated with her soul. As the day of Omalicha's decision drew near, the kingdom held its breath in expectation. Would she choose Prince Buruzo, with his vast wealth and regal bearing? Or would she choose Prince Jaja, with his strength and courage? It was then that fate struck. On the morning of the day Omalicha is set to announce her decision, you could touch the palpable expectation in the air. Everyone was waking up in a hurry. Young men were ready to thrust their muscles around in celebration. Young medians ready to shake their waist, dancing to the drums from dawn till dusk. And the town crier was posted at the palace gate, ready with his gong announcement instrument. But the only thing heard coming from the palace was cries and wails. Villagers thought a royal death had occurred, but many deemed what had happened worse than death. Their kingdom jewel and pride, the princess is afflicted. She has woken up with unexplainable skin disease. Again, sorrowful songs were composed in her name. What has the beautiful princess done? They sang, for the gods have cursed her with the worst skin affliction. What happened next was not foretold by any seer. Fear and panic broke out. Many feared the princess had been cursed with a communicable disease that would wipe their children and the village out. Her ebony skin has become an eyesore. The blistering sores and rashes were painful, itchy and smelly. It was so bad that the two princes vying for her hand in marriage all denounced their interest, and Princess Omalisha became a laughingstock. Her father, the king, quickly summoned the most skilled and feared native doctors in hope for earnest cure for the princess, but none could provide any relief or cure. Omalisha was distraught and inconsolable, for in a matter of days she had gone from being admired by all to being avoided like a plague, with accompanied audible loud whispers and stares. Omalisha plunged into deep sorrow and sadness. Her maiden friends no longer want or enjoy her company. Her days were loudly silent and desolate. She hid in her room all day and could not enjoy the sun, for it causes her skin to itch and burn the more. As weeks went by, the villagers eagerly awaited news of the princess's recovery, but none came. Then, one morning, a young man arrived at the palace gates, carrying a small bag and requesting to see the princess. "Were you summoned by the king?" the guards questioned. "No," the young man replied. "I seek an audience with the princess, for she beseeches my dreams." Outraged, the guard yells back at him, "She beseeches your dreams? Are you accusing the princess of witchcraft? For only a witch can torment your dream. Jeering clever one we have here." "Clever one indeed," the guards echoed. "No, no, no, never," replied the young man. "I seek the princess' audience to help with her ailment." Amused by the unusual confidence, the guards burst into laughter. "Who are you again?" the chief guard asked the young man. As he began to answer, "My name is Obi," he cuts him off. "Exactly, Obi, the poor village orphan. I know who you are. You are a nobody. You have no notoriety. But you do have one thing, the audacity to show up at this palace gate, demanding to see the princess uninvited. Because she is afflicted doesn't mean the likes of you can grace her presence." "I only want to help," Obi retorted. "Do you know how many powerful native doctors have been summoned from the 7 kingdoms? The guard went on, 41, and none could proffer a cure or solution. So be gone from this gate before I cause you sudden harm." As Obi attempts to persuade them further, they grab him and toss him at nearby bushes. "The next time we see you here," one of the guards says, "you'll be tossed in the crocodile river, where you surely cannot come out of." Disappointed but determined, Obi picked himself up and departed the palace gates, knowing he had to find another way to help the princess. One day, orphan boy sent his parrot to the princess, inviting her to come for a cure in his poor hut. Against all advice, Princess Omalisha visited the orphan's dilapidated hut. There she met a young man who was busy crushing and mixing herbs, the now familiar parrot resting on his shoulders and occasionally suggesting a herb to be added. For the first time, she is in the presence of a young man who looked at and treated her like a normal person. She listened, followed all his instructions, and for 7 days Omalicha visited the orphan's hut, used his herbal treatment, and she was completely healed. Joy and peace was restored to the community. Those who ran to the neighboring kingdoms began to return. The king threw a feast to welcome the villagers back. In gratitude, the king offered the orphan his richest land and a bag of gold coins to go with it. He then announced that he will bestow the highest chieftaincy title on Obi the orphan. But Obi humbly refused the land, the bag of gold, and the title. He declared that he paid nothing to acquire the herbal knowledge, so he will not charge the king or anyone for the knowledge either. As the news of the princess' recovery spread, again suitors began streaming in from the 7 kingdoms, but the princess has gotten a new view of life. She now understands that good health is not promised, and that what people say in good times may not stand when difficult days arrive. So she resolves that her husband must be someone who will not run away and abandon her in time of trouble or misfortune. As weeks go by, the princess finds herself unable to stop admiring Obi, the orphan boy, whenever their paths are crossed. She becomes increasingly curious and intrigued by him. Most of all, she is amazed at his humility, considering the wealth of knowledge of the leaves that he has and the good he does with it, caring and treating everyone free of charge. Not too long to come, she shocks the kingdom by announcing that she will marry Obi, the orphan pauper with a heart of gold, if he will have her. In him, she's found the love and happiness she had been searching for all along, proving that true wealth lies not in riches or strength, but in the purity of the heart. Obi was stunned and speechless at first, but he humbly sent word back to the king, accepting the proposal. When the news of the royal marriage was announced, it was met with mixed reactions, for in the history of Aladima, no royal prince or princess has ever married a commoner. Men of wealthy status, renowned warriors, and the neighboring princes were all aggrieved, for they have lived their whole lives believing they will have a chance to marry the princess, a chance that is being snatched away by a pauper of all presentation. But in the end, the king has the final say, and he is set to give away his beloved daughter to an orphan pauper in marriage. Amidst great news and celebration, a hush fell over the kingdom. But just as the excitements reach their peak, suddenly there are drums and echoes of war, shaking the balance of peace in the 7 kingdoms. The princes and the warriors adamantly refuse to accept Obi as a suitable groom for the princess, instilling fear in the communities. Unable to tolerate the tension any longer, Obi stepped forward with a trembling voice, revealing a shocking secret, that indeed he is the legitimate surviving son of the late King Odo of Aladima, given to the late blind herbalist widow after birth to thwart multiple prophecies, that he will be killed if raised in the palace. This she revealed to him on her dying bed, Obi narrated. "What a convenient story," cried Prince Jaja, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "If he's a prince, then I am the king of the 7 kingdoms and the world." The other princes quickly echoed his sentiment, all threatening mayhem. Alarmed, women and children feared the return of dreadful war times, as recent marriage treaties had kept neighboring conflicts at bay. One by one, the indignant, disgruntled princes and warriors began to visit King of Aladima. They emphatically refused to allow the proposed marriage ceremony to go ahead, and they declared that the said day will be day of bloodshed and massacre, for they have been robbed of their rights. King of Aladima addressed Prince Jaja, saying, "I am not even the bride yet. I am repelled by your boisterous presentation of your person. I say to you and the rest of the interested princes, your behavior is too blatant and undignified. This is a matter of the heart. Let's approach it with dignity and respect," the king urged. "Respect, you said?" snapped Prince Jaja, his tone sharp with indignation. "Did you respect us when you made the decision to hand over your daughter to a pauper? Year after year, we, the eligible princes, have visited and honored you with accompanying gifts. So, with due respect, King of Aladima, your action is a disrespect and a slap in the face. This is your official notice. My kingdom has declared war on your kingdom. If you do not rescind the marriage proposal between your daughter and that pauper." As Prince Jaja departs, King of Aladima yells after him, "Go and ask your elders what past wars did to your kingdom. Be warned, wars are easy to start but difficult to end." An emergency council of elders was convened, and 2 oldest Aladima elders broke their oaths of secrecy and attested to the truth of Obi's claim. Following this confirmation, all the kings of the 7 kingdoms got together and summoned 7 seers, 1 from each kingdom. They demanded a mirror be cast into the past, and the truth about Obi's identity be made bare. It was indeed a show of supernatural powers. One after the other, the seers confirmed that Obi is indeed the legitimate son of the late King Odo, whom was announced dead at birth, but was actually given to a blind herbalist widow. In other, to unfulfill the prophecies that foretold the young prince will be murdered, should he be raised in the halls of power. As the truth sank in, the war is truly averted. The kingdom erupted into cheers and applause, for they knew that their beloved princess had chosen not only love, but destiny itself. The marriage date was set, and it became grander than ever imagined. It was the most famous union of the 7 kingdoms. Only the dead were not ready for the marriage ceremony. Every Median had perfected the new dance, confident they would make a great queen to any of the 7 eligible princes, but willing to settle for any interested warrior. Despite some envy, the marriage of Prince Obi and Princess Omalicha was blessed by many and accepted by all, marking the beginning of a union celebrated for generations to come. In no time, Omalicha felt she found the purpose to her royal existence. A quick study she was. She quickly mastered the art of herbs healing, and together she and her husband Prince Obi treated and healed every sick villager. And yes, they treated them free of any charge. As for the palace guards who had once disrespected the unknown prince, they were reassigned to full duty at the established herbal treatment compound, where they humbly carry the sick to and fro the treatment compound and the villagers' various homes, learning important lessons of humility and kindness along the way. Queen Omalicha bore King Obi 7 sons, and in honor of the peace in their reign, they named each of their sons after each of the 7 kingdoms. They were content that they will not have a repeated history of dancing at the brink of war over the right groom for their daughter. And so Omalicha and Obi went on to rule over the kingdom of Aladima with wisdom, compassion, and grace. Famously known as the healer, king, and queen, They sought for no wars, led no young people to slaughter in the name of neighboring wars. Rather, they brought healing to their land and to their neighboring kingdoms. Their love shined like a beacon of hope in a world filled with darkness. And though they faced many trials and tribulations along the way, their bond remained unbreakable, a testament to the enduring power of love, honor, and destiny.